King Charles III has called for urgent intervention to mitigate climate change effects, especially in the Horn of Africa. Speaking at the United Nations headquarters in Gigiri, the King acknowledged that the East African region has borne devastating effects arising from climate change and urged for concentrated conservation efforts to shield communities from the effects of climate change. He lauded Kenya for being at the forefront of climate change justice and thanked the UN for spearheading treaties that have seen nations commit to conserve the environment. Our very own Mary Mwaki has more.
Glowing with the pride of a mission accomplished, 10-year-old environmental activist Karen Kimani was all smiles as she, together with the King, planted a tree at the Karura forests. The tree planting exercise the fulfillment of a request the young environmental champion made when she wrote to Buckingham Palace earlier this year to ask if the King would plant a tree with her. And on day 2 of his state visit to Kenya, the King honored that request where the two planted an Elgon teak tree at Karura Forest. King visited the UN headquarters in Gigiri, where he met with officials and personnel of the UN Environment Programme, UN Habitat, and other UN agencies based in Kenya. The monarch, who is an environmental champion, lauded the efforts of the UN staff in Nairobi to protect the environment and combat climate change.
I particularly wanted to visit your headquarters to thank and encourage you all. Put simply, as a result of your efforts, millions of the most vulnerable people in the world have a greater measure of security, safety and support.
The King highlighted the challenges of climate change and the devastating effects of climate change that have particularly hit the Horn of Africa hard, terming it an urgent mission that requires concerted effort to avert the many climatic disasters that many countries face as a result of global warming and climate change.
Particularly heartbreaking to know that in the Horn of Africa alone, tens of millions of people face severe hunger and drought. Left unchecked, global warming, biodiversity loss and climate change are challenges, serious challenges which threaten us all, and can only be met by the whole of society working together in the spirit of action, partnership and commitment.
The King later visited the Shedrick Conservancy, where he lauded Kenya's position as a leader in championing for climate change justice and expressed admiration for the global achievements of the UN environmental leadership, such as cleaning up the oceans, repairing the ozone layer, and ensuring food and water security. Mary Mwaki, Citizen TV.
All right, Mary, thanks so much for that.